For Mindfreak, more importantly, it's not even they need to improve. They just need to stop making mistakes, and then they'll be there.
Well, this could be some good practice, as we said, for both these two teams. The last LAN practice, of course, unless they decide to pre-LAN before Call of Duty World Championships. We've seen teams historically do that, but curious to see if the Australians want to go that route as well. But as it stands, first map of the series is going to be a Valkyrie hardpoint. And our first hill, still 30 seconds still to go before we rotate. And as it stands, both teams still trying to establish control. Be down to fight it, try and win that gunfight. Not going to happen. Swifty with a double, Ben's there to trade.
And it's worth pointing out as well, I think this is the first time in really like Australian Call of Duty history where Mindfreak has had like a real contender for best team in Australia. Now, of course, if Tainted Minds beats them here, I'm not just outright giving them that title, but it's a good thing for Australia that finally there's a second team where they can pre-LAN against each other. They don't even have to make the trip to North America. They actually have legitimate competition now where they can better each other when they scrim against you back home. So
I would definitely say, to your point, it's consistent competition, which is the most important thing. I know historically at Champs, you've had some Australian teams go on big runs and outperform that core group, but still, as it stands, you're absolutely right, but is practicing just against your own region before Champs, you think that's worth it?
Well, it helps, right? Any little bit helps. When you go back to Australia, you don't want to have just a 3-week hiatus and then not scrim anybody, then go and pre-LAN. Like, that's not the way to go about it. You still need to scrim teams when you're back at home. And again, as long as it's actual helpful practice that they're getting, playing against teams that have like good habits. They're not going to learn bad habits playing against them. So I'm not saying it's hugely beneficial and Australia is going to come out and get the 1-2 spot at Champs, but I think they're going to do better as a scene historically than they have in the past.
I'm trying to think, do you remember the score line when these two teams first played? Was it 3-1? 3-0?
I'm going to be honest, man. I woke up this morning, saw us casting these guys, knew that they were the bottom 2 in the division, and I just didn't even look it up.
Wow. Good to know you were super excited to be casting with me early in the morning.
That's the thing I'm most excited
about. It's really not early.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. As it stands, Mindfreak, a 65 to 37 point lead as we go over to Storage Bunker. And it is, I'd say, Tainted Minds just reducing the early deficit. As finally looks to try and fight through the front door. Not going to happen. Den's now with 1, looking for maybe a couple more. Swifty should fall, missing a couple of shots, but doesn't matter too much. Teammate there to clean up the kill, and Mindfreak retake control.
Good rotations by Mindfreak coming in. They got all angles covered. They've got all the necessary cuts pushed out, but of course, as Fight falls, well, the floodgates are coming in on the backside of Buzzo. He's ready and willing. He's able to find 2, and, well, Swifty's inside. You think he's going to get pinched out, but he's looking for the 3-piece, doesn't find it in Mindfreak. They settle in and get those final 12 seconds before going into office.
Good start from Swifty for Tainted Minds. 12 and 7 on the flip side. Damage 1 and 7. Simply not good enough. Mindfreak will definitely make you pay if you start off that slow, as the team kill comes through here as well. Nimble on Swifter's door. Early time for office is in favor of Tainted Minds, though. We'll see if they're able to keep control of it, or will Mindfreak break through on what could be their first actual push. Here a look at damage. Found his second kill, now looking for the third. Buzzo gonna clean up.
And after thinking about it, Ben, just to answer your previous question, I'm definitely doing this off memory. Definitely didn't just look it up. It was actually Game 5. It was a Game 5 between these two teams, which, of course, Mindfreak ended up coming out on top of. But again, close competition that these boys have now. And, of course, in this game, relatively close competition as well. It's definitely looking like Mindfreak set up after office to take a pretty substantial lead, though, beyond 60 seconds if they collect the scrap, which it's looking like they're set up to do.
Just curious about your memory, Chance.
Great memory.
Seems it is so good early on here on the final day of Pro League. Do you remember the map set? By any chance, remember the specific map? You know what, Chance, I'll be nice. I'll give you a few moments to collect your thoughts and see if you can remember the map set.
No, I know exactly what it was. They played Forest Hardpoint and then Doc's Hardpoint for maps 1 and 4. They played Saint Marie Game 5 as a Valk Game 2 for the S&D. And then, as expected, because we know how the trends go in CTF, it was actually a Forest CTF, because that's just where this division was at that time.
I will say,
book it, Ben.
He did not read that off his phone. That was completely off memory. I'm actually impressed if that's correct. Either that or you just blagged your way through a wonderful question. But I believe you, as you are our expert analyst here at the CWL. Don't tell Nameless I said that. I'll get upset.
I think, we all, I don't even want to say what I'm thinking. Mindfreak on Smokestacks. It's going to be Fida pushing on the back end. Has a free-ish kill on Swiftazor's back turn. And, well, there's going to be an actually pretty important one-on-one gunfight coming into the final hill. There's a one-on-one gunfight that decides final 10 seconds of scrap. And those are some of the most important ones you have on the map. If Shox doesn't pick that up, not only is that 10 seconds his team does not get, it's 10 seconds to go the way of Tainted Minds. So one gunfight, 20-point swing.
Looking at the scoreboard, as we now head back over to Vents for a second rotation of hills for Mindfreak. It's pretty even slaying across the board. A couple of players with 14 kills, a couple of players with 12 kills. On the other side, though, for Tainted Minds, it's Swifty, who basically has Swiftazor and Damage living comfortably in his backpack. 21 and 14, his stat line. Nimble holding his own at 15 and 13, but you got Swiftazor 7 and 13 and Damage 5 and 13. You simply need more from those two players in this second rotation. If you don't get more, Mindfreak going to comfortably cruise to a map 1 win.
And you see exactly how it looks, right? Swifty, who's leading the team in slaying, is inside the hill, but if he doesn't win his one-on-one gunfight, there's no hope of them being stationary in ventilation room. So Mindfreak, pretty much with ease, just go and stroll on back through when the gunfight's fight is inside the hill. He's able to pick up one, and it looks like he might be posed to take the second, and there you go. And of course, on the rotation at X, Mindfreak's got that as well. They have all their bases covered, unless Damage goes to make a big play, but the man's got 6 kills. He's going to need to pick up 2 or 3 more. And now that the hill pops, he goes inside. You can see he's fine 1. Meanwhile, Fida, of course, working on Streaks, who falls with the pistol and Damage. Well, he needed to go big, and it looks like he did. Wins the gunfight inside the hill, racking up some time for his team.
Now, if you're Tainted Minds, you're looking at a full hold here to bring yourself back into this game. And he'll still be down by around about 15 to 20 points, but it will massively reduce the deficit. We'll see if they're able to do so. As Damage looking for 1. Nice nade. That cleans up Dens, but he backs away. Juggles the hill. Love this from Damage. He needs a teammate just to support here. He can just trade the kill. Don't want to see him play too passive, but it's actually Swifty, ironically enough, that just jumps in and gets himself a double kill. Of course he does. His 25th kill. Damage now 1 shot. Trying to jiggle. Still has the support of Swiftazor. You'd love to see him just try and get that 100 points, but he's just simply not going to be able to get it.
Shoulder peeking across, Shox tags him up, and it looks like he's going to go for it because he sees, well, the bait might be there, but Swifty loses the gunfight, so no assist points, no kill. And because of how passively you're paying for the streaks, the hill pops, you're down by 40, and they have just now begun to rotate over towards next. So Mindfreak, they get their ideal setup. They got a player in ventilation. They got a player by offices covering the left side. They got a player push out smokestacks, and then, well, Den's inside the hill, a little bit bored. He's like, guys, where should I look? Okay, well, no one's here yet. And Mindfreak, they're just getting the clean wipes across the board.
Damage just playing so slow, trying to find those streaks ultimately full. No streaks for him. Just kind of made me laugh because you had Swifty the end of that last hill, just kind of bait for him, and, well, nothing really came from it. Damage just playing his life a little too much there, arguably. As Tainted Minds do break into storage bunker. 25 seconds left. Still at the score, 212 to 148 in favor of Mindfreak. Going to go for one more push, or is it just going to be a rotation? Looks for now as if Mindfreak are just going to be happy to rotate. Although fair play to Tainted Minds, they're coming a little bit back into this in the second rotation.
It's the exact same story as it was after the first set of rotation. Swiftazors and Damage really just need to pick it up. You saw moments from Damage where he started building towards some streaks, started to pick it up, but he's going to have to do something similar once again. They need to get this break on office. He got 3 players from Mindfreak, or 2, excuse me, stacked up inside the hill. 1 pushed out just a little bit, but the push coming in from the back, that's 3 Tainted Minds players, and all of a sudden it was Shox just by himself, none of them winning their one-on-one gunfights, and that's a pretty much instantaneous break for Tainted Minds, who are working themselves back into this game.
Yep, they get the clean wipe, and now all of a sudden, a full hold here could potentially put them close to tying up the game once again, but they need that full hold, not split time with Mindfreak, as Nimble actually team kills Damage there, so they lose control of the hill, but that's going to be the first streak for Nimble. Can he now earn his artillery barrage and potentially fight a pilot? They're still getting the time in the hill here. So there's going to be around about 221 to what, 210 game? If they pick up every second of scrap time, you also have a streak to use come smokestacks, potentially a tier 2, tier 3 streak. If Mindfreak throw this away, this is shambles.
Shambles, blasphemy, whatever you want to call it, but Tainted Minds still trying to make it happen. Still a tough spot. Again, a Glide Bomb isn't enough just to automatically make you win the game, and they might have to invest it soon.
I would use it.
You can see, yeah, they're calling it in, but it's going to be Fida inside the hill. He's going to fall or maybe even go inside, so He does get the kill, and that does take one player from Mindfreak that spawns out all the way over by Office, so it actually works out. This is the opening Tainted Minds needs. Now they need to get the kills, and Swifty, well, he's going to get the first one on Buzzo.
Swifty just turns the corner, he's like, where is Buzzo looking? He's not looking at him at all. As now the artillery barrage is going to be called in, and, well, Tainted Minds can't win it here, but boy, oh boy, can they put themselves close. So Fighter Pilot has been earned by Nimble. The question now is, when is he going to use that third and final streak? Ultimately, he will drop. For Mindfreak, they now cannot win it here, but they can put themselves within just 1 point. You expect to see Tainted Minds potentially slay out. Damage now finally seems to have woken up here on the final day of Pro League. He picks up a triple kill, scrap time in favor of Tainted Minds, and they will take the lead for what feels like the first time in this map.
They saved the Fighter Pilot though, and we're going to the hill that's inside, so he calls it in, and what can you get? Information is going to be the name of the game, but they're inside the hill. They're racking up the points. They only need 8 seconds to go in Tainted Minds. They got to get in. They got to win the gunfights. They got to contest. They got to do something, and it's going to be Nimble. The man was just on an 8 streak, trying to look for the next, and Swifty gets the trade, so 3 seconds left for Mindfreak, 10 for Tainted Minds.
And now you have one final push for Mindfreak. Can they steal map number 1 away from Tainted Minds here? Swifty, he's gonna have to jump outside the hill. Wants to push it out. There's one, there's two, surely. It comes down to Swifty. He pops himself a triple, and that will be all she wrote from game 1. Tainted Minds started so slow, a snail's pace almost, and they come out. A miraculous comeback against Mindfreak and steal hardpoint. Wow.
What a game, Ben. What a game. Swifty, from start to finish, was playing lights out. He just needed a little bit of help from his teammates, and towards the end, Nimble really kicked it up a notch as well to earn himself full streaks. Goes on the 8 spree, but I think it has to go to Swifty, right? Like, you start the game amazing, you find the 3-piece at the end to solidify the game to your team. That is a hell of a game, number 1.
Phenomenal stuff. I was a little worried in terms of the Fighter Pilot usage, because it was almost a little too late. The players from Mindfreak had already rotated, so you're going into the inside hill first of the rotation. It isn't really ever going to find many kills. You want to use it maybe a little better in terms of rotation, but ultimately they break through anyway.
Well, and the funny thing is like, he puts the artillery to block off one lane. The only open lane for Mindfreak to go is straight up the middle of the map out the open. If you just stack the Fighter Pilot right on top of it, you would get a guaranteed 3, maybe 4 kills. And then you probably just win the game there. So agreed, it definitely could have been better. You saved the Fighter Pilot for the inside hill, and yes, you get information, keep him at bay, and it works out in the end, but definitely could have been better. But in my mind, you win the game, no love lost. You look back, improvements for next time.
Well, Swifty pops himself a lovely 3-piece to close out map number 1, and it was a map, again, we should really stress, was controlled by Mindfreak the entire time, apart from maybe the last couple of hills where all of a sudden Tainted Minds make a good comeback. And Chance, I just have a feeling. You said it went game 5 the first time these two teams played.
Don't stop, man. Come on. Don't give me that look.
I have this feeling. I do. Do you remember what map 2 was? The Search and Destroy, off your memory?
Valkyrie, 100%. All right. Ignore that. We'll figure this information out for you. More importantly, we have the scuff play of the game for you. I'm assuming it's going to be Swifty popping the 3-piece to the end. Either that or the Nimble 8 streak, but you got to give it to him. Mindfreak, 3 seconds away from winning the games. Jumps out at bay, kills 1. The 2 players funnel in the door, and he shoots through the uprights at the start, but makes sure to clean up the kills. And, of course, on the Mindfreak side, they had 8 different directions to look. And the only direction they had at the end of the game was just down in disappointment from the lead that they threw away.
250, 247 the final score. I think the nice play there from Swifty was really just challenging Fighter straight away. The first gunfight he took, Fighter has no idea that challenge is coming. Obviously the other two, a couple of missed shots there in the fight, but ultimately he gets a 3-piece. Wins the game for Tainted Minds, so props to Swifty. Map 2, Ardennes Forest. So,
from last time or this time?
This.
Was that the question you're asking me, what this map was? Oh, okay. I was talking about the last series. Last series, 100% Valkyrie's map number 2, but we saw the clips from Swifty. Now we get to hear from Swiftazors. We got a hit with Jess on the floor.
Thanks, Chance. Yeah, so I caught up with Swiftazor, and it's their first time here at the Pro League, and, of course, they didn't make the playoffs, but, he was telling me that he's glad to be here still at the Pro League, and he's proud of the team, and, he's just kind of really there to show that the APAC region has more talent than just Mindfreak. So, all in all, he did open with, I hate that this match doesn't mean anything, but, all in all, I think this is a good thing for them to be here, and they said that they are very glad. I did pop over and speak with Mindfreak, and Buzzo, Dens, and Shocks were really really kind of on the same page as Tainted Minds. They were saying, you know, I think this is good. This will motivate all the other Australian teams that aren't here at the Pro League. But at the end of the day, they did also say that they kind of identify as a global team. You know, they don't think of themselves as, you know, one of the 2 Australian teams here at the Pro League. They think of themselves as a global competitor, you know, who are also happening to be from Australia. So with that said, why don't we head back on over to the casters to get this match started?
Definitely our global team, that's for sure. One of the best teams in the world, to be completely frank. That's why you're here at the Call of Duty World League, to do your job and play to the best of your abilities, and that's exactly what we see. But I have a question for you here, Chance.
I don't have an answer.
No, I am curious to see what you say, because I think we may actually agree for a rare time here. Let's say Tainted Minds 3-0 Mindfreak, right? Just let's say it happens.
Sure.
Does that then make them the best team in the Australian region? Because you would look at head-to-head, technically they performed better in their win, but obviously they're lower in the overall standings, admittedly not by much, just by 1 win. But would you say Tainted Minds then would have bragging rights over Mindfreak?
No, I would not. I would put them on the same level if Tainted Minds gets this win, even in a 3-0 fashion. I mean, look at game number 1. 252-47, and it's a game Mindfreak, you would say, should have won. Obviously, Tainted Minds makes the big play, but I would still say that at the moment, you just have to say Tainted Minds is a step behind. Just for the credit of Mindfreak, historically, in this game, have been consistently better, consistently outplaced. Is the storyline better for Tainted Minds? I think absolutely. I think these guys, the first event of the year, they get top 64. Then the next one, I'm pretty sure they get top 32, then top 24, then all of a sudden they make the league, and then we get to see a top 8. So there has been a very steady just improvement from this team. So I like the story from that.
Of course, just a quick reminder, Last Chance qualifiers next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Action starts at 2 p.m. It's a simple format. 32 teams will play. All you have to do is win 2 matches, and you will qualify for the Call of Duty World Championship. The rest of the world essentially looking to secure their spot at the biggest tournament of the year. But now we go over to Ardennes Forest. Search and destroy. Tainted Minds drew first blood in terms of the series. However, it was Mindfreak in this round that get the advantage. Now all of a sudden a 3v1. It's left down to Damage to clutch it.
And an impossible situation he is in as well. Buzzo's just going to sit roughly on this top plat area. They figure out where he's coming from, and it looks like he had to have gotten spotted. Buzzo has X-ray vision, I guess is what it looks like in that situation. Just starts firing off some shots, and Damage goes and peeks and says hello.
Done with that in game 1.
Yeah. Could have dealt with a lot of things in game number 1.
Lesser cleans up the kill. Nicely played. Mindfreak take the advantage here in Ardennes Forest. Now, of course, sides will flip. Curious to see what we get on the attacking side. I'm a big fan of, you know, smoke A pushes on Ardennes Forest early on, at least. Keep your defensive team honest, and also maybe keep them guessing if you go into some later rounds. Much later rounds, your round 10s, rounds 11s, but it'll be Tainted Minds on the attack. Of course, so far, Swifty, the only player with a kill.
Well, you say you like smoke A pushes. Well, here you go. You got 3 players for Tainted Minds trying to surge on forward, but they got to deal with Buzzo. They're able to trade it up. Now you got to come in the front door, and then you got to deal with Fight, a last player on the cabin wall. He's trying to keep him in bay. He gets him 1 shot, and that is enough for the trade to come in. A pretty clean round. I think the ultimate piece of it was just that first one-on-one gunfight between Buzzo and whoever fell from Tainted Minds in that cabin cut area. If Buzzo falls there, then Fight has to deal with 3 players. But the help was there, and Mindfreak will be happy to go up 2-0.
Yep. They definitely will, but we've seen Mindfreak take advantages in maps and not close them out. Point in case, map number 1. Yep. Time things up here 1-1. Crucial. You do not want to allow Tainted Minds to go 2-0 up again. You know, you talked a little bit about bragging rights, and, well, yeah, you're probably right. You would probably have them both equal here if Tainted Minds was to win this series. Curious to see who comes out on top between the 2, though, by the end of the year. Here in round 3, already. Advantage Tainted Minds. As I say that, it's nullified. Fighter with a pick on Swifty. Now you get yourself a 2v2.
Kills coming down all over the place. It looks like they're going to go for the plant straight away. The question is, what setup do they roll with, and how does Tainted Minds approach the break? Of course, Damage has an STG, and Mindfreak, well, you got 1 player, Buzzo, watching back ice. The other guy is going to be responsible for watching. I was going to say no man's land, so there's the potential for them to just push on through. Fight is only watching 1 specific thing, which means Buzzo's got to double back and check back and forth, but the information is there, and now the setup is actually perfect. Damage for the cross. Buzzo should know where he's going to be coming from. Fight able to get the first cleanup kill, and the second guy, well, we call it no man's land because it's not a place for anyone to be. Buzzo gets that cleanup kill as well.
I had flashbacks there for a moment of Revan's TCL breakdown of Method's 1v3 clutch against Mindfreak. I'm not sure if you caught it, but he was basically explaining Mindfreak did a similar thing there where they didn't actually watch Cabin Alley, and that was really how Methods was able to ultimately clutch up in a pretty big way. Also, the player inside the bomb site lost a gunfight that they probably shouldn't have done. But either way, you feel like that's an angle that you have to kind of respect at least a little bit there if you are Mindfreak in those situations. But either way, they clutch it.
Well, I would say for Fido, what he was watching is for the guy to jump across, which is fine. I would just prefer instead of Buzzo watching back and forth for Fido, you can swing over to the left and then you can see everything. So not a bad setup. Obviously, they win the round with relative ease. Of course, this one, though, Swifty through the smoke, surges forward, and he's going to find his second kill as well. And Buzzo, he's trying to help his teammates. He's shooting through some smoke, but what do? And you can't do anything because the round all of a sudden is over. I think it was a grenade that got that final kill as well, or maybe just someone getting the cleanup kill mid-map. It was Damage who times it with throwing the nade just past Fido, but does it with the STG.
I don't think that nade got anywhere near.
It was covering the other side. You shoot one side, you nade the other, you guarantee you hit them. It's a clean round from Tainted Minds.
It is a very, very clean round. A pretty quick one as well, though, as they find their first round win here in the Search and Destroy. But again, still very heavily favoring Mindfreak so far. But in terms of Search and Destroy for both these two teams throughout the entire division, chance, who would you say is the better of the Australians?
I would definitely lean Mindfreak, almost simply because of the record. The issue for Mindfreak has been mid-round adjustments. Their opening strats are almost always great. And you can see here they coordinate nades to get that first kill, and they're not using Semtexes either. They're using the frags to get the roll to get them a little bit farther. But now we come to the mid-round, and all of a sudden Buzzo's in a 1v2. He's in a decent spot for it, but still dealing with two players. If they double challenge, it should be tough to manage. And they're just peppering him back and forth. Nimble might overcommit, but Buzzo doesn't have enough ammo.
Tell you what, I've seen Buzzo clutch a fair amount of 1v2s, 1v3s in his career. This could be another one. The fact that he hasn't been cleaned up just yet. I think he's going to read the flank. Has to check it. It's going to be Nimble. Nope, never mind. Hasn't. In fact, has he? Nope. Hasn't read it at all. Very easy round win there at the end for Tainted Minds.
And it was too quick for me to be able to dissect. But again, Mindfreak has been a very, very solid S&D team. But they always find them, or not always, but often find themselves in a situation where the start of the round happens, they get that main advantage, and then just something happens, whether it be a poor setup or just, you know, maybe even a failed gunfight at times.
Yep.
Something happens, and then rounds at times fall apart. But even with those mistakes they're making, their S&D record has still been very, very good. So I definitely give Mindfreak the S&D edge, albeit not a huge one.
Said for years, the Australian region have always been so talented when it comes to Search and Destroy, often catching other regions completely off guard in terms of just the way they like to play it. Strats have obviously been good as well this year. We saw that at Anaheim, for example. But first blood again in favor of Mindfreak. And that, of course, I believe is what, their fifth first blood? Tainted Minds only with one, and this is still a close game at 3-2.
Again, their openings have been very good. Even speaking to the last round, just how often do you see people switch to frags instead of the Semtexes just to look for something specific? Of course, if you want something specific, it's got to be Den's up top. He's able to get some shots into him. Swifty nearly makes the play, but all of a sudden you got a 2v1. Damage is going to be, well, going through you back towards Bell, but you got to find two players. And, well, Mindfreak, you got one guy watching mid-map, and you got one guy watching the push through B. Of course, Damage is not there yet.
Curious to see if potentially gets good timing because you would expect him to punt towards B. Damage has seen Buzzo. Now, does he realize that the A site has been completely blown wide open? Problem he's going to have is if he's slow here, Mindfreak is going to be quick on the rotation from B to A, simply because of the time left in the round, unless they decide to just stick it out at B. I think Damage may actually get a free plant here, to be honest. And he should be able to get out with his life. 1v2, still possible. Now will he get the right read? Both players are going to be there. Oh my lord, he makes it 1v1, he stayed alive! Oh lord! A 1v3 from Damage. And that simply shouldn't happen.
I would argue, at the professional level, if someone wide peeks out a door, if it's a 1v1 gunfight, then maybe you camera catch a guy off guard. But if you're just staring down two players, you should probably die. And again, that's Mindfreak. They put themselves in a great position. You get a 2v1. The guy plants it. You're 3 seconds after him when he plants the bomb. You know exactly where he is, exactly where he could be. And even with the man advantage, Damage just gets the clutch. Also, hip fire is OP.
Beautiful play for him to just work the map, plant the bomb. Read it very, very well. Now we're all tied up at 3-3. Another first blood for Mindfreak. Shockara, who would have guessed? Tainted Minds working with a man disadvantage as they have pretty much this entire map. Can they, though, take the lead in the search and destroy for the first time?
Swift Azores with a nice angle waiting for someone to peek over top. The problem is no one's going to make that peek. The bomb's going to go down, and Mindfreak, well, they have as good of a setup as you could ask. They got 2 players around the bomb to focus on dome. Buzzo just needs to watch mid, and of course they got a guy dedicated to watching the flank, where exactly where Swifty's coming from, but what do you really do? I think you have to coordinate with your teammates. You got to push at the exact same time. You see some nades coming in, trying to take down Buzzo. He's going to connect, but where's the follow-up? Maybe he doesn't need it. Just straight up wins the 1v1. He gets taken down. Fights coming up top. Impossible gunfights right now. Tainted Minds is winning. And all of a sudden, they're at top plat. They're in control, but they don't have the time. You might just need to hop on the bomb. That's what Swift Azores is going from. And so, can damage protect him? Can damage protect him? It's going to be Fox that can stop him.
Oh, my God.
And they're just not there in time. Mindfreak. What are you doing? This isn't a I mean, it is a clutch from Tainted Minds, but like it's not like they're doing something like if they were coordinated nades to get that first player taken down.
Which they didn't.
Which they didn't. They're just winning one-on-one gunfight. They got a 2v2, 15 seconds left, and no one at Mindfreak can go and kill that guy.
They shouldn't be winning.
On tough gun? Yeah, no, this
like,
is,
okay, Tainted Minds, apparently you play better.
Round 8.
3v4. An interesting one, that's for sure. A couple of players close to streaks. Shucks is thinking about the flank. He's already been tagged up. As now still waiting for first blood here in round 8. Advantage Tainted Minds, who here in the search have just been clutch, for lack of a better word. Looking to see if they can give themselves that 2-round cushion.
It's worth pointing out Nimble with the bomb is on a 0 streak. Damage without the bomb on a 4. Generally speaking, you would like to get some streaks, so we'll see if he can earn them the hard way.
When you're that close.
Especially when you would have streaks right now if you had the bomb. Maybe he just needs a couple more assists or a kill. I mean, granted, they haven't needed streaks to clutch up all the rounds. Now they get the bomb down and straight up 4v4, so it's not like they're in a bad spot. The 2 players from Mindfreak coming on the flank. Now it's going to be Swifty that has to deal with them, but someone let the openings through you, and now Nimble all of a sudden is behind the entire Mindfreak team, where they just surge on the flank, and there's no way they screw this up because they had everyone watching everything. And by the way, Damage, of course, did not get his score streaks.
You feel in those situations, if Swift Azores was able to at least trade his life out, you give yourself the best possible situation. You obviously jump peak saw 2, and the pinch came through. Well executed retake from Mindfreak, but in a round where you were so close to streaks, on a map like Ardent Forest, where streaks can win you rounds, I'm sure Tainted Minds would love if they could to replay that round.
Just plant the bomb, camp a corner, and just wait for your teammates to die. Trade out the kill. Like, you don't even have to get the perfect setup. Just get the streaks and I don't know. Tainted Minds, they've been clutch before, so again, they might just not need the streaks at all. But of course, Dens,
look at that.
He's working towards some of his own.
And he has the bomb.
He has the bomb, man. They're doing it. They're doing it. And they had a strat to smoke out B to make sure they could clear the top plat, get the power position, back them up through dome, which means you get the free plant.
Do you get the free plant?
You do, as long as someone watches over top for Swift Azores.
Swift Azores has been in that position before, and he's allowed the plant to go through, and you do get the plant, and you get a glide bomb. If you're Dens, you back away. You have Shocks watching the whole flank from bunker, so Dens knows he's A-okay, to be completely honest with you. You could just invest the glide bomb right here.
If his teammates die, you call in the glide bomb. If they don't die, then you win the round. And frankly, if they have an advantage in the situation, they get this first pick, then you try to feed your teammate kills. But they felt the pressure, so they say, let's just get the guaranteed round win. And I think he actually hit his teammate in that situation. Now he's tagged up. We've been here once. Are we going to be here again? Swift Azores up top trying to keep him at bay. But Shocks wins the gunfight, and Nimble says, okay, we did it once. We can't do it again. Thank you, Mindfreak. We appreciate your time.
Just instantly checked that bomb to the line. Nope, not again.
He also has full streaks now, probably. He was at 750. He gets his final kill. So, yeah, I think he has the fighter pilot, which means he has the artillery. So, yeah, Mindfreak, there's no way they lose this, Ben, right?
Right. They have all the extra utility in the world to close out map number 2. Again, the first blood tally really tells a big story in this game. Just the sheer lack of for Tainted Minds. They only have 1 in 9 rounds played, and we are at 5-4. Quite frankly, how they've been able to clutch up so often at disadvantage. Yes, of course, often kills get traded very quickly, but still. Finally, Swift does get a first blood. This time it's going to be traded out by Fighter. You can see the intent as Nimble caught with the nade in his hand, and this round may well be over.
Damage falls to the fighter pilot. Swifty says, oh boy, I'm stuck inside. And of course, the artillery for the A site, not hyper useful, but Swifty actually has a one-on-one on the backside. That player's throwing a nade. And now he just got a, oh, you're throwing, why are you throwing a smoke back ice?
He's just gonna lie in the smoke. Swifty's clutching this. Swifty's clutching this. Swifty did it clutch, oh Lord, Dems! Swifty saw him first, and then says, take a seat, my son. That is my 1v1 to clutch.
Why are you throwing a smoke back ice?
I don't know.
What are you trying to smoke out?
Make him panic.
Doesn't matter, dude. Next level strat stuff I can't even begin to comprehend. Mindfreak, they clutch up for map number 2 to tie up the series. Ben, they've gone to game 5, I think just in this year against each other twice in a row, and maybe even before that if they played an online 2Ks, who knows, yeah. But we got a game 5 written all over this one too.
There we do. Good old-fashioned round 11. I can just see it now. The Ninja Defuse comes through. Tainted Minds with 0 first bloods. Definitely a realistic opportunity for that. But of course, this huge bragging rights on the line. 2 massive rivals from the Australian region. As it stands, the final day of Pro League. This is the first matchup. Of course, it's 1-1. We'll be back after this with Capture the Flag. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what is a thrilling start to the day, on the final day of the Call of Duty World League this year, the Pro League.
Ben, you got to save your adjectives. You got to save your adjectives. We got to build up the Call of Duty champs. If you're busting out words like thrilling, like how much higher above thrilling can you go when you get the grand finals, round 11, game 5 against whatever 2 teams you want?
Hell, we'll see, right? We'll see. There's just going to be loud noises. It's going to sound like a bird or something just walking in the distinct distance.
So you're normal casting that.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds about right? As it stands, though, Mindfreak, Tainted Minds, 1 map apiece. We head over to now a CTF Arden Forest, where realistically, I feel maybe the winner of this might actually just take this 3-1.
No, it's not going to be a 3-1. This map doesn't matter, because whoever wins this, guaranteed to lose map 4. We're going to a game 5. We're calling it now. Of course, Mindfreak, though, on the defensive stand. Cleared out their base. Now they search for it. Den shooting at Ghost, but he finds Nimble as well and takes him down.
Yeah, it was Buzzo who actually found himself the double kill just to deflect the pressure away from Mindfreak. And at a quick look now, it is Tainted Minds trapped in their base. Can they do what Mindfreak was able to do a few moments ago? They find a big wave of defensive kills. Well, Shox was able to find 1. Swifty instantly traded out. Now Fighter, again, looking to keep that pressure on.
Fighter able to snap on Nimble right there, take him down, and that means they can maintain the pressure. Den's, though, playing very, very slow at the moment mid-map. Of course, everyone for Tainted Minds is going to be trapped in their base, and Mindfreak, again, it's a standard setup, and it makes perfect sense. Trap your opponent in your base, let the kills come to you, and, well, if you don't get them, you spawn back up to your home base. The double kill doesn't come in, and Buzzo by himself, I was going to say, he might be able to get sneaky. Of course, that's going to give it away. He does read the challenge to come in, but Swifty does win the gunfight.
All of a sudden, Tainted Minds, a shift of pace. Can they string together an attacking push? It's a good opening for Swift Azor as Fighter ultimately falls. Potentially a couple more kills could come his way, and this seems like a perfect time now to go to Astro Gaming Listening with Tainted Minds.
Let's go, Fighter.
Stay up there.
Missing Fighter.
Fighter's already up.
Yeah, that's him. Pause. I'll tell you when they spawn. Shox now.
You're spawning them at the back.
I'm pushing up bump again. Dan, play kills.
I'm close to streaks.
I'm nading the very back. Dan, I've got wide. I got wide 1 shot, Dan.
I'm coming through left.
Dan, get my bunk, Dan. Get my bunk.
I can play kills there.
One shot, church.
Wide.
That's his church.
Dan, you got me?
Coming through church. Coming through church.
Dan, wide again.
Just wait up.
Still close. I'm close to streak side. I'm trying to bait you.
Yeah, it's all good. Fire and fall wide.
I'm behind him.
Fire. Two bunk, too far.
I'm in their base.
Yeah, they probably gonna go to your left.
Play kills.
Pillar?
Where can they get through? Ice and people.
Everywhere. Just play kills. Just play your hard kill.
I'm going left as well.
Full sun. No assist. One wood wall.
Wait, I'm gonna run it.
I'm going to church. I'm
gonna try to kill wood wall.
Yeah, let's go.
Wood wall. I'm running a church. Wait, I got one.
Wood wall.
I'm coming to get wood. Once people push through.
Wood wall.
I'm aiming wood. He's on our side. He's
They're gonna be on your right.
He's at wood. No. Wood.
I have ice. Yeah,
I'm gonna get shot in the back.
Could go through.
I'm behind.
Pillar. Aiming you.
He's going for it now.
Nice. I'm here, Dan.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Did you kill Buzz?
No. Behind. Cabinet.
Yeah, I'm aiming. Is he one shot dead? I'll grab.
Same. Look
He's
for
close to me. Wait, quick. Dead. Nice. I got around.
Behind him. Ice, boys.
I'm 5'10.
I got ice.
I'm playing chill.
We get ice, I'll spawn, yeah? I got P4.
I'm netting pillar.
Okay, you got P4, I got ice.
I'll get it.
I need you to get my left, boys, not push ice.
Yeah, we need to get left.
Den's
Is that P4?
Got him right.
Den's is
I'm
dead,
getting up.
Can you stuck me?
He's
pushing P4. No, he went cabin.
Yellow buggy.
I need you to push.
Lincoln cabin.
I'm gonna stun a king high. I'm stunning high. 170. I'm aiming.
I don't see cabin.
Yeah, Lincoln, it's Lincoln cabin.
Lincoln's gone.
Could be ice, he could have been ice.
He's gone middle.
Definitely the buggy, guys.
I'm aiming.
Buggy shooting.
Nice.
One more hit buggy.
Lincoln going grenaded before.
Lincoln. Dead. Look at two. Dead to shocks. Killed me on flag.
One more dead. I got streaked.
Alright, Boston just spawn. Let's go, boys.
I might.
Get up and
yeah, I'm gonna get up to try and get
right.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Did you stun him?
No.
I've got wood.
He's on fire, tank.
I'm one up full streaks. I'm staying wood.
Fire tank. Got him.
In bunk and wide. In bunk and wide. He's in bunk.
There, of course, a wonderful look at Tainted Minds communication, and, well, they're 2-0 up as well here, Chance. A wonderful first half from them.
Like, realistically speaking, that was, like, very pleasant to listen to. Like, not only do they just sound like nice guys in the comms, but all the information was pertinent. It was relevant. They're calling out their scores when they got streaks. They're calling out how they're playing certain situations. I think it's hilarious that they were calling out, like, I'm aiming. I would hope so. You're playing Call of Duty, but what they mean is like I'm posted up, I'm pre-aiming, I'm playing slow. So I think that is honestly one of the best like communication teams we've heard, right? Like Opti Gaming I think is the pinnacle, but after that, Tainted Minds legitimately might be in the running.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. As Damage now gets himself full streaks and stops the flag as well. At that point, let your teammate go for that return, see if they can try and get some extra points. But with 3 seconds left, is Swifty actually going to be able to touch the flag? You don't have time to pre-aim there, pal. You just have to go. But oh, actually, I say that the flag's not been returned. So I'm an idiot, and the flag will be pulled, and potentially it can end 3-0.
That's the communication, though. What's it get?
Yeah.
You understand these situations better than the casters do at times. Of course, this is a 50-50, and well, you ask yourself, who does it favor? Probably the team that is fully streaked out on Forest. Fight is gonna fall. Shocks, though, he's able to find one buzz on the kill feed as well, so pressure's on Swifty right now. He's got a little bit of support. And of course, Mindfreak, they might want to go pick up that flag as well. Nimble on the backside, able to win one. The flag is picked up by Dens. But Swifty's just winning gunfights all over the place solo. He is going huge for the team. Now the question is, do you call on Striggus go get the flag? Do you even have time? 17 seconds to go across the map. It looks like Tainted Minds, well, they got one last push.
I feel like using streaks maybe a little bit too aggressive here. See if you can just do it the old-fashioned way. As Nimble may actually get through. Nope, never mind. Players watching the cross. May's going to go through. 4 seconds. I don't think anyone's in a position to even get that return. No one close enough. Tainted Minds, though, the 2-0 lead. Tier 2 and Tier 3 streak at their disposal. This is perfect stuff.
I would argue if they call in the fighter pod at the end, that would almost guarantee a flag. But the situation, if they're not up 3-0, they're still up 2-0, and they still have streaks. So even if maybe it could have been better, they're still going to be in a fantastic spot. So maybe a little bit weird, but it should not be a problem. Again, Tainted Minds so far in the CTF have been on point. You'd expect that they do not slow down.
Oh, looked good, and as you said before, their communication pretty much on point there. And because of that, they find themselves with the 2-0 advantage. Now, though, for Mindfreak, you have 5 minutes fighting against 2 score streaks and a 2-0 deficit. This is by no means going to be easy, but we heard Tainted Minds. Now, let's take a listen in with Mindfreak.
Keep pushing up.
I'm in bug.
I'm watching it. P1, in P1. I'll get that side.
Yeah, I'm looking this way. I'm pushing him.
All up now. Straight for run. I'm going back.
It's Hayden, the guy that...
Wait. Mid-road side, 2 P4, 1 P4, 1 fire cut.
I died.
One fire cut, 1 P4. They're gonna spawn Bell, yeah? Yeah. You're by yourself.
They're all wing.
Okay, P4.
Nice.
Coming over to... I'm stunning P4, full stun P4. Yeah, I'm stunning it again, and I'm nading it.
Can you get P4, Mitch?
P4 tag.
I tagged him P4. P4's weak.
Just lying down, dead.
I'm coming. I'm cutting left.
Hey, we're looking for one. Make sure they're out. I'm cutting P4.
Is that all of them?
I should have got a glide bomb.
Hayden would have just spawned.
I cut this, I'll get a glide bomb. I'm pushing up fire cut. I'm pushing fire tank.
Hey, they're not owing. Oh, I'm gonna flank him. I'm flanking Bell.
Yeah. I got a glide as well. One bunk. I need a bait for my streets here, yeah? Dead. Kill one. I'm gliding.
One's back.
Wide bunk.
Wait, I'm flanking.
Wide bunk. 2 in bunk. Last 2 bunk. Wait.
He's wide bunk. He's not in it.
Yeah,
go.
Did they spawn? Yeah, top now.
You're away.
Fuck. You guys, all good. Wait, just hold there, Lincoln. Yeah. They're all spawning on base. I'm gonna check out. Tank and like 8 for me, maybe. Wide. Wait,
2 in bunk.
I'm not close.
One more in bunk. Push that bunk already. Fire rally.
I'm coming to help you. I just left no minutes.
He's like
Dead. I got full streaks, yeah?
Okay, sweet.
Nimble
There was one more wide bunk. He was P1 maybe.
Stunned him wall.
Yeah, he's wall.
Okay. I'm getting the bunker. I got me crossing. Okay, I'm playing him P4. He's on the rock. I got streaks. I'm going shots. I'm pushing.
He's on the wall. On the rock. Sweet.
Once around. Okay, they're bunking now. Wait, just lock me in, guys. I'm one-shot his shocks.
Yeah, I have a sub.
Hey, I got streaks, yeah? I'm just waiting for you, Lincoln. Yeah, I'm waiting for you.
One's in bunk as well. They're smacking around bunk. We can just fucking go middle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come middle with you guys.
You guys can work. Okay, one's all the way at the back. I'm gonna nade the back, yeah? Wait, I'm gonna nade the back. Yeah, I'm nading it.
Nade all the way at the back as well.
One's gonna be on this close heady. Close heady.
One's in bunk.
Nice.
Oh, bunk weak.
In bunker.
Bunker weak. Swift as all.
Tag.
There's two.
I got read. I need help. Coming.
Yeah, wait for Mitch. Go.
I'm gonna artillery.
Streak. Yeah, go.
I'm gonna artillery stat, yeah?
Yeah.
You want P4?
Yeah, I've got it.
One's fire tank. Artillery stat, yeah?
Fire tank dead. I've got middle.
Enemy artillery. I'm getting away from you.
One's fire tank again.
Am I waiting this? Wait, I got you. Oh, you guys set up.
There's still one more fire tank.
I'm nading fire tank.
Okay, I'm pushing.
Fire tank there. What? Fire alley, Hayden. Wait, I'm close to glide. I'm close to glide.
He's weak there. He's weak in fire alley.
Hey, one. Nice. Hey, fire alley.
Well, gents, this game just got interesting. Mindfreak, some fantastic communication of their own, as we hear there. They cap 2 flags, they get themselves a ton of streaks, and realistically, this is their game now to take.
Absolutely. I mean, we said at the end of, or I said at the end of the first half, like, hey, Tainted Minds, they don't need to use the streak to go up 3-0. There's no way they messed that up, but here we are. Mindfreak, they tied it up 2-2. They got a glide bomb, and they got a little bit of pressure on the map outside of the players that are about to go counter-cap their flag. Of course, Zenz with the glide bomb, he's going to be able to take Nimble down. Knows the other one should be coming through fire, cut on the defensive end, and Buzz was there to take him down. All of a sudden, it's damaged by himself, and Denz is going to clean up the kill. He's going to pull the flag. He's going to get every streak in the world, and frankly, he could go ahead, put the artillery down, block off your flag because your teammates might not be able to get there in time. And you could also just set up for the relay. He's actually going to do it with a fighter pilot because his teammates got that in hand. The mountain comes in effect, but you still know where they're going to be. Mindfreak, they're going to get the dive. No, they got the dive. Captured it, 3-2. They got the lead. They got the streaks. Pressure's on Tainted Minds, and they don't even have their own flag.
Oh, and Buzzo, beautifully done from him. Goes for the relay, wins a gunfight. One more player, not going to get it. Is the flag going to be returned? Nimble with a double. Ultimately, Shocks keeps it alive. The fighter pilot's now been invested by Denz just to keep the flag out of the base, ultimately in their possession. Counterpull comes through, though. Ultimately, it's Swifty that got it away. Still an artillery barrage to be used for Mindfreak, but if you're Tainted Minds, quite simply put, you are running out of time.
You're going to get that extra minute, though, so the hope is sort of there. Denz cleans up the kill, so their base is clear. They have an artillery, and you can see Denz. He's actually chasing the flag carrier who's Swifty. I don't know if he wants to take the gunfight, but he might have to. Denz coming around the corner. It looks like the help was there from Swiftazors anyway. Question is when and where to use this artillery, if at all.
This game's going to get tied up 3-3.
There's no way. You have streaks. You block down that bottom lane.
Tied up 3-3.
Block down the bottom lane. Or do it with your pit. Like, put it on the back. You have so many options. You're going to have to use it at some point. He's going to call it in. Where's the question? He does put it on the bottom lane, so it's going to be very difficult for Tainted Minds to get through. They need to just be patient.
That's fine. And note how aggressive Swifty is currently being here with the Mindfreak flag. High risk, high reward. Finally, the artillery barrage comes to an end. Mindfreak, I don't want to say necessarily turtling, but with 20 seconds left, all you have to do is just deflect the pressure. The flag carrier probably needs about 8 seconds. He's actually going to run all the way back. This is it. This is the push for Tainted Minds. Bomb goes down. That's 2. Third player watching the cross. Flag is still alive. Is the flag going to be returned? Chance, I hate to say I told you so, but did I tell you so? No, maybe I didn't. Denz is a beast. I'm an idiot.
What did you tell me so? There was no hope of that flag getting returned at the end there.
I saw one player, one green arrow, and I thought it was going to be returned, but then it ultimately wasn't. So I'll give you that one. Mindfreak, wonderful comeback. But more importantly, the communication there from Mindfreak. How'd you rate that against Tainted Minds?
It was tough. We saw more miscommunications coming out of Mindfreak, but I think all the miscommunications were in difficult spots. Like, you hear the glide bomb get called in, you hear the call out 2 in bunk. Well, it turns out one guy was actually just to the side of bunker, wins the gunfight, stops the flag, and you hear a little bit of frustration coming in, but it was just a difficult read. Like, the angle of the glide bomb was tough to tell, so I would say Tainted Minds, maybe a small edge over Mindfreak, but Mindfreak's is fine as well.
I feel like you have to look at the one gunfight in bunker in the second half that Swifty had against, I believe at the time it was Fighter who pulled the flag, and he was just kind of roaming around, being a little bit of a nuisance. A gunfight Swifty essentially had to win, and ultimately it leads to a spiral of events. Number 1, the Mindfreak flag that goes in, that starts a little bit of a comeback. Then, of course, the streaks that ultimately get used as well. Chance, it was a little rough.
Well, you talk about rough things. We got some better things on the horizon. MLG is giving you a chance to win an epic trip. And look, we say it's epic. You don't necessarily have to talk to Rich Campbell, so you can make it the best trip possible. But they're giving you a chance to win a trip to the biggest event of the year. Of course, that's coming up, Chance, in just a couple weeks, right? August 17th to 19th. The promotion is live from July 16th to 31st. Are we past the 16th yet? We're past the 16th, so it's live right now, and you should have another week and a half, whatever it's going to be. You get round-trip airfare. You get hotel accommodations. So basically, you just give it for free. You get a free trip to Champs and enjoy the best Call of Duty event of the year. You get a Prestige Pass, which gives you floor seating, lounge access, and a marathon pass to get in the express line for all autograph sessions.
Wow.
Do we get one of those?
That's a lot of stuff you get there, Chance.
That is quite a bit of stuff. And how do you enter? Of course, you just visit MLG.com and check out the trending section to access the entry form. That is the trending section of MLG.com for an all-expenses paid trip to Call of Duty Champs.
That's pretty awesome.
Except for the part where you might have to run into Rich Campbell. But outside of that, dude,
we
feel great.
We avoid him
As much as we can.
Yes.
So
I'm sure you can do the same if you ultimately win. But Champs is a wonderful, wonderful event. I've been a part of a fair share of them since they accepted a lot of them.
Since
all of them apart from
Black Ops
one.
2?
All of them apart from one, which I missed because I was ill.
You get sick. So
I really do have a very, very bad immune system. It is actually concerning. But Call of Duty Champs, I can promise you this. I know a lot of people often kind of talk to me at events or tweet at me saying, what is the best event to go to? Is it your Anaheim's? Is it Orlando's, Dallas's? It simply put is Champs. There's the most money on the line, the most pressure. Historically, we've had some of the best games there as well. It's just wonderful, and to go and actually witness that live is going to be an experience I guarantee you as a fan and a spectator you will never, ever forget. So hopefully, put it this way, you may as well enter. What have you got to lose, right? Absolutely nothing. So go ahead and go over to MLG.com, the trending page, of course, and just enter the competition because it's free, of course. But speaking of Champs, I asked Revan this yesterday, and I am curious to get your opinion since we have a little bit of downtime before Game 4. In terms of Stage 2 playoffs and Champs, do you see maybe the same team taking both these big 2 final events? Or
no.
Couple of,
I do not. I think whoever wins, I don't think one team wins both. I think the competition's too tight, so I just think statistically the odds of that are too low. Because Rise, you would say, is the clear front runner going in.
Are they?
But they might end up in the 4 seed, and they've lost a lot of series. Every single team has lost series, the top teams, because everyone's so good at this game. At this point, late in the year, no one has a clear-cut edge. So for someone to step up and win not one but both, I think that would be insanity. So props to them if a team is able to pull that off. I just think it's incredibly unlikely.
Any potential upsets that you could see happening? When I say upsets, obviously you look at Stage 1 phase, massive dark horse. No one expects them to win that.
Like upset of a winner?
Yes. Do you see maybe for example, E United, no disrespect to them, but could they come out maybe win Stage 2?
It depends. What qualifies as an upset, right? In my mind, if you qualify for playoffs, right. Yes, I would say you have the opportunity to win. So outside of the top 8s from playoffs could come in and win champs. I mean, maybe there's a couple teams like an LG, maybe you had a rough showing. There might be 1 or 2 options there for you. Will I put my dog in that corner? No, I will not. But it just depends on what you call an upset. Who's the worst team you think could win is just...
It's a weird one.
At least for playoffs, because there's only 8, it's a bit of a strange question. Come champs time, though, maybe a couple dark horses waiting in the wings.
Oh, I'm excited. Very excited, of course. We mentioned LCQ. That's going to be next week as well. Excited to see which other 16 teams join us at the Call of Duty World Championship. But for now, back to the game on the main stage. Mindfreak, Tainted Minds. It's been a close one. 250-247. 6-4 and a 3-2 capture the flag. Quite frankly, couldn't be closer if we tried. As we head over to a Game 4, Hardpoint St. Marie du Mont. Can Mindfreak close it out 3-1, or is this one going the distance?
It's going the distance, man.
Yeah.
We've covered this. Whoever wins map 3 is going to lose map 4. Not because of anything they did wrong. It's just destiny. The cards have fallen into place. Of course, Mindfreak, this is probably one of their more comfortable hardpoint maps as well. So
doesn't matter.
You might want to give them a pump. But Tainted Minds has actually a decent history of upsetting teams at their best maps. They were the first team to beat Optic Gaming on Gibraltar on land. This new Optic Gaming roster, I should say. They were the first team to beat, I'm pretty sure it was E United. Oh, God, what map was it? It might have been London Docks Hardpoint. Was it Docks Hardpoint? Either way, they have taken 2 juggernaut teams on their best map and taken it to them. Of course, that doesn't reflect in their series count at all. Well, it does for the Optic one, I suppose.
It'd just be ironic. I know you brought this up earlier on, but I do think it's pretty funny if Mindfreak was to close out this series and Tainted Minds ultimately crash out with just 1 win, but the number 1 win could potentially be the number 1 seed of the division. Quite frankly, how that works, I'm still trying to figure it out personally myself.
Well, we can break this down all we want, or we could just break down the illustrious gameplay coming out from Mindfreak and Tainted Minds. Mindfreak in the hill early on. Tainted Minds, though, trying to get the spawns for next if they so can, but you don't want to give away these last 30 seconds because that's not scrap time. That's a lot of time, and it looks like Mindfreak might be poised. You hear the nades coming in. It takes down one. Fight is looking for as many kills as possible, and, well, he only gets one, but he does enough damage that Dens picks up two. And, of course, he got Shocks working for these ladder spawns. He's by himself, though, and you see he's staring down a lot of barrels of Tainted Minds guns, and while they clean him up.
On the bright side, Shocks drew a lot of attention over to that right-hand side lane of the map. It's allowed Fighter to push up. Don't know whether he's going to contest straight off the bat. Instead, he's going to get a free 100 points. Unfortunately, he had no idea where Tainted Minds were. Den's able to trade out a kill. And if Tainted Minds aren't careful, they had control of the spawns here. They may just completely lose control. And nope, they still have him.
For the moment, Mindfreak inside the hill, racking up some time, and Buzzo's going to be a key guy who Swifty just takes care of straight away. Make sure to watch the flank, the cut coming in. Shocks out the back is just going to fall, and Dens you expect is going to fall as well. The challenge comes in, the pre-fire comes in, not good enough. Tainted Minds finally able to get some real points on the board.
To be fair, though, I think Mindfreak have done a good job of just splitting that time. It's going to be around about 50-50 when we rotate across. And considering how it was Tainted Minds with spawn control very, very early on, you thought maybe they could turn that into a bit of a money hill, but with 15 seconds, you still have Buzzo contesting, looking to maybe even arguably juggle the hill. That's the game plan here. Potentially could get some extra points towards some streaks. That's going to be a glide bomb, and you have the rotation to new as well. Wonderful stuff from Mindfreak early on.
Buzzo's been shooting very, very well as of recent, I would say. I think his S&D gameplay has been arguably one of the best on his team, like definitely towards the top. I'd have to go back and rewatch everything,
that's what you get from Buzzo.
I've seen a lot of very solid performances coming out from him, and again, that's the guy you'd expect on the team that would need to pick things up. And again, you see when he's doing well, reflects in the score. Mindfreak have a, I won't call any lead they have comfortable, but for any other team, it would be a comfortable lead, especially with the fact that he is fully streaked out.
I mean, to your point about Buzzo, he's often a bit of a scapegoat, if you will, for this Mindfreak squad, and especially at the start of the year. Maybe some of that fight was rightfully so in terms of his performances. Statistically speaking, in Respawn, wasn't the best outside of CTF. I think CTF is always a game mode you expect to see Buzzo really, really shine on, but to your point, has picked up massively in the likes of Hardpoint, his Search and Destroy gameplay. I mean, it's Buzzo. Search is in his blood.
Sure. The situation we just saw is I said for any other team to leave,
I know.
be comfortable.
I was just letting it happen.
We're just letting it happen?
Just let it go.
Well, I'm going to bring it up. They burned an artillery strike to lose the hill. Fighter got gunned, by the way, by I'm pretty sure it was Swifty that made it happen. So Swifty lights out. I mean, maybe not as much in this game, but he's winning gunfights that are helping putting his team at least closer to where Mindfreak is. But of course, Mindfreak still just running up the score, even on lookout post. As long as they don't use the streaks, apparently they're fine.
Well, as it stands, 105 to 46, still in favor of Mindfreak. They've done a good job holding the first 30 seconds of lookout post. Can they hold it all? It's very rare that this is a full money hill for teams unless streaks are used, but Mindfreak are making this look so damn easy. Dens with a double, Shocks with a double, Tainted Minds, they're in a world of pain.
Welcome to the Northern Hemisphere. Bullets were just a little bit better. I don't even know what that means. Either way, though, first set of rotations are in, and Mindfreak outside of not even a poorly used artillery, just the gunfights after the artillery. If those went their way, they'd have well beyond a 100-point lead. Instead, they're going to have to settle with an 80, which, again, they still have streaks in the back pocket as well, and they're still winning the gunfights. Shocks finds two up top. Now the players in the bottom got a lot to deal with. It's going to be Damage by himself, who's able to find one, but he had more in the back. So Mindfreak get control of restaurant.
And Tainted Minds actually get a split spawn, so it's going to come down to Damage. Damage has to stay alive here because he's going to dictate the spawns as well for Tainted Minds. They have a 3v3 on this side of the map. Mindfreak, do they realize it? That's the question. Ultimately, Swifty wins his gunfight, but look at that. Mindfreak still spawn behind him. 3 players. Swifty's going to be furious about that. Maybe you could argue that maybe some watching of kill cams could have helped a little bit there for Tainted Minds to dictate the spawns just a little bit better. They'll find the final scrap time. The rotations are in, and it's going to be controlled by Mindfreak.
Still, though, Tainted Minds, I mean, I guess kind of chipping away at that lead going into Restaurant. They were down by 80, 90 points. Now they're only down by 65, 70. So, again, not a great spot, but they'll see what they can do. Of course, this is another situation where maybe the guy inside the hill, if it's Buzzo, which it's not, he's watching the flank, wants to call in some streaks. He always has that available to him. But, again, instead, he can just do it with the bar. He's not even taking bullets. He's just winning them all. Knows the pressure's coming in from the left side, goes for the swap, and Yes, he falls, but this is 20 seconds just before Tainted Minds gets clear to go to ammo. Now they get to get all the way to the hill, and this is where Buzzo calls in the glide bomb. Doesn't kill anything, but keeps him at bay. And this is just a ton of time going the way of Mindfreak.
And again, if you're Mindfreak, you've done such a good job this map of just keeping the money hills contested, right? You're taking a 50-50 split almost of all of them, and then essentially you're not allowing Tainted Minds to come out and take anything away from them. It was really only on kind of Green Tower hill. Mindfreak get a full 60, and that was the key difference maker from the first rotation. Now you look at the lead. Again, it's going to be around about, what, 70 points or so? Not massive, but I just don't see any way Tainted Minds win this map.
The smile on Ben's face right after he said that, he knows exactly what he's trying to do. Put the bad juju on the game. We'll see what happens later on. Either way, Mindfreak, again, they haven't been great with the streak so far. They're great with the guns, as reflected in the kill feed, but this is another situation where Buzzo, if he wants to, can call him the fighter pilot, and this is a great hill to do it, but he feels the pressure, wants to keep him in bay with the bar. He's able to find one. The second one lines up. He goes back for the challenge, and Nimble wins it, but Denz is there for the trades. And this is, once again, a near 100-point lead reinstated for Mindfreak. One of the best stuns I've seen in Hardpoint in a while. Takes two players completely out of the game, and then Fida walks in, gets a free three-piece, and there's that 100-point lead once again, Ben.
Yep, and you still have that Fida pilot just to close out this game if you want. May see it used on this rotation, considering how good Mindfreak are on this next hill, and there it is. Buzzo is going to invest it. Love to see this. This could be very, very bad for Tainted Minds. One player goes down. This is what Swifty. Of course, he's using that one, and Fighter's going to be a little upset by that. So he didn't actually get that call at 222-106. Tainted Minds, well, now you have to make one hell of a comeback, and considering there's only one player alive on the hill and it's damage, I think this is going to end very well.
Again, Mindfreak with the gunfights have been on point. That is 3 streaks used. Every single time they've called it in, then the hill just turns green. But again, once they stop using the streaks and pull out the guns, they have been on point. Buzzo on a 5. He wants to double up on the streaks, but streaks he does not need. They're set and poised to win the game on lookout post. Mindfreak, they have seemingly firmly established, well, solidified, making sure that they are still the best team in Australia.
Was there ever any doubt?
For a moment.
A couple of these maps are extremely close. Very, very close. That one, yeah, not so much. Mindfreak just came out and made a statement there in game 4. Congrats to them. They take the series 3-1. And for Tainted Minds, a very bizarre season, or stage 2, I should say. You basically only get one win, but it's against arguably the best team in the division right now, at least. Curious to see what we get come Call of Duty World Championship. For both these two teams, we will not be seeing them at playoffs. We will see them at champs. They both had a fantastic last major event, and if they can translate some of that magic to champs, who knows how far APAC can go.
And it has to be reinstated for the APAC region. I think it is incredibly important that they have another team in the region that, again, you said consistency is key. That can give consistently good practice to either of these teams to help boost the APAC region up just a little bit more. If they get double top 8 at Anaheim, you have high expectations going into champ. So, again, as you pointed out, looking forward to it.
To that point, what is your realistic expectation for both these two teams come champs? Is it maybe one breaks into the top 8, both into the top 8? How do you see it happening?
If neither team makes the top 8, it's a failure of a year for Australia for champs. I think one team definitely needs to, and I would really only be happy for like Mindfreak, for example, with the top 6. Like if I was on that team, if I didn't get top 6, I just like oh god, like you know, like top 8's obviously great. You make a lot of money, but I would want more from that team. And then of course for Tainted Minds, I think if they're in the top 12, they have a great year. If they get top 8, even better.
Australia come Call of Duty World Championships have historically had some great results. Will this year be any different? We'll wait and see, because that, of course, is going to be the next time we see both these two teams. But at least for now, Mindfreak have bragging rights over their big rivals, Tainted Minds.
The battle of APAC, who is going to be the best of the worst? Ultimately, Mindfreak comes out on top here, 3-1 against Tainted Minds. And you know what? Tainted Minds, they made me believe at the beginning there, really thought maybe they could get the series. I think that still Nameless would maybe be a little bit of an upset if we saw Tainted Minds take the series over Mindfreak, considered the best team in APAC.
It definitely would have been an upset, you know, Tainted Minds. And Mindfreak, they've been battling at it for a while. These players have been going against each other for years, and Mindfreak has always had that edge on them. You know, they have so much practice over a team like Tainted Minds, and they're just confident going into that series, so you got to expect Mindfreak to come out there and show that they're still the best Australian team, and they don't want to lose to Tainted Minds ever.
Oh,
no.
Ben, not that long ago on Trading Shots, said that he thought that Tainted Minds maybe was going to be the best team in APAC.
I do think that Tainted Minds has the best potential at this moment, as opposed to Mindfreak. I think Tainted Minds have showed us a little bit more signs of greatness. The record not reflecting it, but I think they've had some upside.
I just think as well, like the amount of time Tainted Minds has spent over here since, you know, the start of Stage 2, it's compared to what Mindfreak has had for, say, a couple years now. I do think that Tainted Minds has, you know, maybe a little bit of a higher ceiling, or I think maybe, you know, they can be as good as Mindfreak. You know, maybe not better, but they can be as good as Mindfreak. I actually took them going into this. I had a feeling it went wrong, and, you know, I was really,
man.
Damage is a beast, okay? Damage is
absolutely a beast.
Absolute, categorically, 100% factual, a beast.
Beast.
To go along with what you're saying, though, I was in the back. I was actually talking to John Curry, and I was like, hey, look, like, I honestly think if Tainted Minds was in the position that Mindfreak was in, you know, we kept saying, okay, when's Mindfreak going to have these improvements? When are they going to be the team that we think they could be? I think if Tainted Minds was in that position, had as much time in the league, had that practice, I feel like they are a team that actually could have actually utilized it, come out and performed at a higher level. So I actually do believe in this team steadily getting better. Like you said, Phil, they didn't have that much time, and already they were able to get top 8 in an open event.
And I think as well, Mindfreak always has Tainted Minds' number. Like head-to-head, yeah, Mindfreak always come out on top because of the last 5 years. But when they go against other opposition, whether it be EU, whether it be NA, I don't know. I kind of look at Mindfreak and just always kind of count them out, or think they'll push it to a game 5 like they always do, and then somehow they don't pick up the win. I think Tainted Minds sometimes may be able to, with maybe 3, 4, 5 more months, you know, these guys can challenge them a little bit more.
But ultimately, we're not going to have to talk about APAC for a little while now. That's going to be the last time that we see them today, and also neither of them qualified for playoffs. But now, moving ahead, going to be Rise versus Unilad. Now, this one is going to be important. Of course, yesterday we already did settle the score, figured out who our top 4 teams are, figured out who is actually going to playoffs for Stage 2. Both of these squads in the ranks of that. So this match, Phil, going to be very important as to seeding.
Yeah, I think Unilad versus Rise Nation, loser this can place 4th, I believe. Looking at the stats and speaking to everyone, League Ops and everyone included kind of thing. Unilad, if they lose this,